Run with your arms. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 9 of the Learn to Run podcast with myself, Dr. Matt Meinert. If you're new, welcome. Here's how this works. You vote on the topic, and then I create an episode about that topic. Pretty simple. If you are a regular, thank you so much for tuning back in and continuing the positive feedback and support. And on that note, thank you and my apologies for last episode. The audio quality was awful. It was way too low. And so I'm aware of that. Thank you for letting me know. I've taken measures to try to improve that, got a new microphone. I'm continuing to learn and try to improve my message and to be able to get this information out to all of you. If you're a visual learner like myself, check out my YouTube. That's where you'll see this episode, and I sprinkle in visuals, pictures, and videos that correlate with the concepts that I'm saying to try to improve the learning experience. So what are we talking about this week? What is this episode all about? Arm Swing 101. Everything you possibly could need to know about swinging your arms while running. You're going to become an arm swing expert, be able to tell all your friends. I feel like this is so important. The arm swing and the arms roll with running is the unsung hero. The legs get all the credit and all the focus, but the arms can either enhance the experience or inhibit. Just like the star role of a movie is the legs, but the other actors can play a huge role as well. So we're going to get into that, everything you possibly need to know about arm swing. The three focus areas, three questions are going to be this. 1, what is efficient arm swing while running? 2, what are common inefficient swing patterns that we typically see? 3, does arm swing change at different speeds? And then I'm going to talk you through what I call the ultimate arm swing drill. I'm going to try to go over it the best I can with just verbal cues and explaining it, but you're going to have to watch the video of it either on my YouTube or my Instagram to truly see it and be able to apply this information. As always, let's get into some foundational knowledge. I want to talk about the arm swing pathway. The pathway, so hear me out. The arms are moving forward, but not straight ahead. Let me say that again. The arms are moving forward, but not straight ahead. So imagine a road, kind of zoom out, or imagine you're looking at a map. You could have a road that is going straight. It's not curving at all. It's going perfectly straight. But the direction isn't straight ahead, isn't due north. You can have a road that's offset, that's still going forward, but it's going northwest. So same story with the arms. Imagine your right arm. If you bend your elbow to 90 degrees, have your wrist pointing straight ahead, that's north, and then have your arm go all the way across your body so your palm is resting on your stomach. We'll call that due west. The pathway, due to the shoulder blades and our structure and our anatomy, is actually somewhere between those two, somewhere between north and west or northwest. And we'll get into that of what that should look like and feel like later on. But that's a key point. Arm swing and also leg swing, while they're moving forward and back and they're moving you overall forward, the direction, it's not straight ahead. That's so common. The missing link where I'll have people that just aren't quite getting it. And it's like, oh yeah, they are misinterpreting. They're thinking arms moving forward and back is straight ahead, but it's not. Point 1, what is efficient arm swing? I think it was either Jesus or Arnold Schwarzenegger, I always get them confused, that said, if you are not with me, you are against me. The role of the arms during running is simply this: to assist the legs with forward movement. If they're not working with the legs, they're working against. Let's give an example. To my favorite analogy of, imagine you're in a canoe that represents your body. How you move that canoe forward is you put the paddle in the water and you push the water back. That's how we propel forward. But imagine now this canoe has 4 people in it. There's 2 in the front, 2 in the back. The 2 in the front, those are team arms. The 2 in the back, that's team legs. Imagine if the arms, team arms in the front, have their paddles out of the water and they're not moving them at all. They are not helping, they're not assisting in this forward movement. So what happens? Well, the legs actually have to work harder. So therefore, if the arms aren't assisting, they are working against, and the legs have to work harder. So if the role of the arms is to assist the legs, what is the role of the legs? To move us forward. That's our paddle. That's our engine. How we move the body forward is the leg is pushing the ground backwards. Push with the tush, PWT. So therefore, the arms are assisting in that process of pushing the ground backwards. The arms are also responsible for helping to assist in the leg that's driving forward. So here's how it works. The arms and the legs, there's team arms and team legs, but there's a separate task force. The opposite arm and the opposite leg are on the same task force. They're moving in the same exact direction. For example, as my right arm is swinging forward, my left leg is swinging forward. As my right leg is pushing the ground backwards, my left arm is moving backwards. So we get this reciprocal forward and back. Arms are assisting, opposite arm, opposite leg are moving forward and back to help assist the legs. And again, both are moving forward and back, but it's not straight ahead. This kind of seems obvious, and if you ever try this, just go out and hug your arms to your side and try to run and see what happens. How do you feel? How's your heart rate? Can you keep your same pace? But there's some research that showed that there's a metabolic and biomechanical benefit of swinging the arms while running. Metabolic meaning energy, it's more cost effective. And then the biomechanics, like we talked about, of opposite arm, opposite leg, are enhancing the legs. But here's the thing, they also showed that without arm swing, there's a compensatory increase in the shoulders and the pelvis rotating. So let's break that down. This is such a common misconception. While we see some twisting and rotating that's occurring, I'm not actively twisting my pelvis, twisting my shoulders. What's happening as a result of those opposite arm, opposite leg moving forward and back, it creates this reciprocal rotary force around your spine. So if you're not moving your arms, your legs are going to have to work harder and your upper body is going to be twisting. So that's the key. If I see somebody twisting, I want it to be as a result of the arms and the legs, passive. They're not actively doing this. And the cue that I'll use for this, or how you know that you're doing this right, is I think sternum straight ahead. Imagine like you've got a headlight coming out of your sternum. Ideally, the whole time while you're running, that beam is going straight forward. If I'm twisting my body, twisting my shoulders, twisting my pelvis, that beam's going to be going left, right, left, right. If you're not a sternum person, you can also think, keep your belly button beams straight ahead. You got that headlight coming out of your belly button. That is close to your center of mass. Maybe that's easier to visualize. But while you're running, keeping that forward and the arms swing, rotating around that vertical axis of the spine. And this is a result of the arms not moving. So what does efficient arm swing actually look like? So try this with me. If you were to look straight down, have your arm, your right arm first, point in straight forward, north, and then just kind of let your arm relax. What happens? As you relax those muscles on the back side of your shoulder, your arm goes inwards. It goes closer towards your stomach or your body. And that's why that position, if you see somebody in a sling, if it's close to their body, it's more at rest. Less muscles have to work to control it. It's more comfortable. It's more in line with the anatomy of the joint. So between all the way forward and all the way towards you, that north and west, find that northwest with me. So now if you're looking down, your arm is moving forward and back on the pathway going northwest. If you imagine like you're holding a handsaw, lightly grasping it, there's a log in front of you, you're sawing and cutting that log. But here's the key. That cut is at closer to a 45-degree angle. So if we had one saw in each hand and we're cutting, it's going to make the apex or the top of a triangle. It's not a straight ahead cut like we talked about before. So arms are moving forward and back. That movement is occurring at the shoulder joint. My arm elbow stays at 90 degrees. I'm not really changing that. I'm not having my arms and elbows go up and down. It's forward and back, forward and back. Now, either, and I highly recommend this, just going to a mirror or just having this external moment where you bring yourself outside of your body. And if you were to look at yourself while you're running, what the arms are doing from the side view. So from the side view, arms are going forward and back. It looks like I'm sawing a log. And here's the other key. Ideally, when we're running, you're leaning forward. Where are you leaning from? Hinging at the ankles. So that's why ideally you should see the whole time your wrists are staying below your elbows. If we ran completely vertical, which breaks and slows you down, that's where we would see it's okay, it's efficient to move your arms forward and back with your wrist in line with your elbows. But because we have that forward pitch, the whole time, ideally, the wrists are staying below the elbows, moving forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. If you're having a hard time picturing this swing or this pathway, imagine like I'm holding a glow stick. Just focus on that glow stick. From the top-down view, it's moving northwest of the right arm. And from the side view, you just, again, see it moving forward and back, like you're sawing the log. Another reason why I like using the sawing analogy is because there's another common thing that we do when we're pushing or pulling, either my body weight or a dumbbell or a bar, is sometimes our wrist gets out of the neutral position. So if we're sawing, it's going to force your wrist to be more in that neutral position. Nobody's going to saw with their wrist curled in or their wrist fully extended. We don't get force transmission from our hand to our elbow to our shoulder as efficiently if our wrist isn't in neutral. So that's why I love that holding a handsaw, lightly grasping the handsaw, forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. Let's go over inefficient arm swing. So if the arms aren't assisting, they're working against. What are the ways that they will work against? Again, zoom out, big picture. The overall goal of running is to move forward. I talk about paying on the principle. Everything that you do, energy you exert, or how you move your body, if it's not going towards that goal of moving forward, it's also going against. Same idea. So there's two main ways the arm swing can be inefficient. The first one is by restricting movement. If your arms are not moving at all, that's going to cause an inefficient pattern. We'll break that down. The other way the arm swing can be inefficient is the direction. If it's going in a direction that isn't consistent with forward and back along that northwest pathway, then it's not helping the legs. It's inefficient. Let's first go to that restricting. Our muscles create and control movement. Episode 1, season 1, I talk M for muscles. There are movers. All things movement. Our muscles are responsible. And as we know, muscles aren't free. Energy isn't free. It costs work. So the muscles create and control movement. But here's the thing. If the arms aren't moving at all while you're running, and the legs are moving forward and back around your spine, creating this rotary force, your arms are actually going to have to work harder to prevent that movement. Normally, if you just stand still and you're not moving, you would think my arms aren't moving. That's not a whole lot of energy. But while you're running or even walking, if the arms are restricting that forward and back movement, that swinging, that's actually going to be inefficient and not help towards that overall goal of moving forward. The second is the direction. Well, if the goal is moving forward, what direction is that going to be that's not efficient and not in line with the goal? Well, either we're going to see up and down, arms moving up and down. We're going to see the arms moving in and out or twisting. Any direction other than forward and back, up and down, side to side, or twisting. So I've broken these into the three most common faults that we see with inefficient running patterns and what arm swing is typically associated with that. The three most common inefficient patterns with running are bounding or going up and down, braking or overstriding, slowing yourself down, and then the third is twisting. Like we talked about earlier, the twisting is occurring from the arms moving reciprocally with the legs, not twisting my pelvis and my torso. So let's break down the three most common patterns that we see. If somebody is bounding, what are their arms doing? And I made funny little classifications to hopefully help you remember and to visualize this. The first and the most common, you've probably heard me say, is the axe killer. If someone is bounding, going up and down, we will see their arms are going up and down and up and down. Typically, they're not moving much at the shoulder. It's more that they're moving, hinging at the elbows. Imagine you had that log in front of you. Ideally, handsaw, forward and back. Axe, you're going up and down and up and down. So commonly we'll see with bounding this axe killer motion. It goes back to my shirt. Mom always said, don't run with axes. Running with handsaws is more efficient. Another common pattern that we'll see with bounding is we'll see the arms do what I call the drummer. Imagine like you're hitting a drum imagine there's a drum in front of you and you're holding the sticks. If you're just going up and down, not moving at all at the shoulders and only at the elbows, great for drumming, but not for assisting in this forward movement goal. The other, it's not as common, but you'll see it, and now you'll never be able to unsee it, is the shrugging milker. I said it, the shrugging milker. Picture this. If I have my wrist close to my body and my elbows are flared out wider, it's kind of like I'm opening my arms like a car door, but my hands are staying inside towards my body. So I'm in this shoulder internal rotation position. And then we see this shrugging, this up and down, like I'm milking a cow or whatever you milk. Elbows are flared out, and I'm just getting this motion at the elbows. So the shrugging milker is pretty much similar to an axe killer and a drummer where it's going up and down, but this person is also rotating their shoulders inwards, but keeping their wrist in towards their body. Next common pattern that we'll see for braking, the three most common, braking or slowing yourself down, is one, the stinky flexor. This person you'll see, they're not moving their arms at all, and they're contracting their arms. It's like if I were to say, hey, show me your arms the biggest, if you were to contract that, and the reason why that's happening is because it's controlling movement. Ideally, the arms should be loose, forward and back. But the stinky flexor, their arms aren't moving. And the reason it's stinky is they're even clamping their arms closer towards their body. Like if you forgot to wear deodorant, you close down, you clamp and shut your armpits. That's using your lats. That's another common inefficient pattern that we'll see is the stinky flexor. The next is the praying mantis. Also immobile, where the arms aren't moving in sync with the legs. The arms muscles are restricting movement. For this, we'll see that the elbows are usually bent up higher. And a lot of times, for some reason, the wrists are also down. So this person, you'll see that they're more moving with their torso because the arms aren't swinging forward and back, and their elbows are bent really, really high. And I think we do this because we know mass moment of inertia. If my arm is straight, I can only swing it forward and back so much. If I bend my elbow to 90 degrees, I can swing it forward and back even more. But there's a point of diminishing return where if I keep bending my elbow and bringing my wrist or my fist closer to my shoulder and trying to move it forward and back, I'm not actually helping to assist as much with that arms forward and back in sync with the legs. The next one for braking that we'll see is the disc jockey. It looks like they're playing a DJ, being a DJ. I don't know. Arms are out towards the side. They wore deodorant. They don't care. They'll open the pits out, their them out. but their elbows are really far out away from their body. Their palms are facing down and they're going forward and back, which is going to slow us down or break. Next, let's move on to twisting. So as we talked about before, one of the main reasons that people twist is because they don't move their arms, but also it's not as common because it's so much more work or energy. You'll see somebody doing both where they're twisting their arms and their body. I call this the tornado. If someone, or Tasmanian devil, they're just twisting like a screw trying to go into the ground. They're twisting around their spine, both using their torso and their arms. So that's the tornado. Another one that we'll see is the backpacker. If someone's holding a book bag, imagine like you're holding those straps in tight towards your body and then run. We'll see this a lot. We'll see actually then the torso moving, the elbows are kind of moving forward and back. They're not articulating, they're not hinging, but they're kind of leading with the elbows. And then everybody's favorite, the T-Rex runner. Similar kind of thing as the backpack runner, but they allow a little bit more straightening of the arms. And then they're still mainly, for some reason, the wrists tend to be floppy with this one too. I think they think loose hands means loose wrist. You want to lightly grasp that handsaw, but my wrist is in neutral. I think some people think soft and they just let their wrist go limp. So we see that with the T-Rex runner as a common inefficient pattern. Let's go on to the third point. Should arm swing change with speed? If you're running faster, running slower, what should change, if anything? So if you're looking for a deep dive, a whole episode about this, episode 5 of season 2, I talked about when we run faster, the mechanics, the technique is the same. It's just amplified. So that's think more. So we'll see somebody lean further forward, still leaning, same location, but more. We'll see somebody's arms swinging forward and back more in line in sync with the legs. As the legs push the ground back further and faster, the arms are just following suit. So we're not going to change pathways, but we will see an amplification of the arms moving forward and back. That's so key. Remember, further, faster, and more force. How we move forward faster, more force pushing the ground back further, and at a faster rate or cadence. Think back to the example of in a canoe. I'm pushing the water back with more force. You wouldn't even have to think about it. If I said go faster forward in canoe, without thinking, you would just put the paddle in the water. You push back with more force. You'd push the paddle even further back behind you to increase the push, the stride. And you would do that whole act, that whole routine on a more frequent basis, more times per minute. So same idea with the arms. When does this change? When is this not the same? If you're doing something other than moving forward. Example, hurdles. If you're about to hurdle and bring your legs up, and you'll see the best ones, they're not actually increasing their vertical height. They're not really jumping. They're just moving at the hips and to get over the hurdle. But in this situation, the arms are going to assist in sync with the legs. Your arms are a window to what's going on with the legs. I can usually, by not even looking at someone's legs, just looking at their arm swing pattern, have an idea of what they're doing. Because again, the arms are assisting the legs. It's very uncommon that you'll see somebody doing a different pathway with their arms than their legs. The only other time you've probably heard this cheek to cheek, where coaches will talk about swinging the arms, cheek, your glute, up to the cheek of your face. Now, hopefully, you know, what is that doing? That's chopping. That's going up and down. That's bounding. But when is that actually appropriate? Well, if you're sprinting and you're starting at the ground, if you're crouched down lower, and that beginning, the propulsion part of that sprint, where you're getting up to speed, when you're raising your body from a lower position to up higher, then yes, that is where up and down is naturally going to happen. You don't have to think about it. That's the whole goal. I don't want you to think about this stuff. You understand it, you implement it, and it just happens. But ideally, on a sprint, no matter what speed, whatever your speed of a sprint is, it's still forward and back. It's still forward and back. So ideally the arm swing is again the same technique, just more. Let me try to talk you through this efficient arm swing drill. Some people can just think about this cue of arms swinging forward and back, and they just get it. The legs adapt and follow suit. Others, like myself, require a little bit more work. And to break it up into individual components, drills, work on them, put it all together, and implement it while running. And I also found that you can't just work on these in drills and just expect them to automatically happen with running. We have this pre-programmed part of our brain. When we run, that's our program. We hit run, the button in our brain, and it happens. But we can change that. We can improve that. We can enhance that, but it doesn't happen passively. We have to then plug in or upload this information into our running program or pattern. That way, when we just hit that button, it does just happen. So this is a drill that you can do that attacks kind of everything. It promotes this forward and back movement, and it also prevents some of the common things that can occur. So here it is. What you need is a washcloth, 2 washcloths, a wall, find a wall, and then a strap. You could use a belt, you could use an ace bandage, but some kind of a strap that doesn't have resistance to it, and you'll see why. So here's what you're going to do. And again, you'll have to check out the video to see this, but I'm going to try to explain it. You go up to a wall, have your arms towards your side, 90 degrees, and go as close to the wall where your fist, when your arms are at 90 degrees, touch the wall. That's going to be your buffer. From there, you're going to have a washcloth under each armpit. Then you're going to have a band around your low back, and you're holding onto it. You're grasping that belt with your hand. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to rotate or swing your arms forward and back, like you're trying to dry off your low back. What is this doing? Well, one, the strap is helping to promote the forward and back, not the up and down. The wall is helping to promote you not swinging your arms too far forward. Just like with the legs not going too far forward, we're trying to emphasize the back. Same with the paddle in the canoe. It's the pushing the water back, which is the focus. That's where we're increasing our stride and our distance, not in front of us. So that wall helps to act as a buffer to prevent us from swinging the arms too far forward. What about the hand towels or washcloths? If somebody is airing out the pits and having their arms out towards their side, engaging their deltoids, which is unnecessary like we talked about, this is going to prevent you from dropping it. So again, forward and back, drawing off your low back. Your cue is don't hit the wall. Make sure that you don't drop the washcloths. Once you do that, you think about it, you do it, becomes subconscious. Then we have to start taking away feedback. Anytime we give feedback or assistance, we have to remove it to truly learn it. And so here's the order that I would go at actually removing the feedback. The first thing I would remove is the washcloths under your arms. It should be the same when you're doing this drill. Your arms should swing exactly the same, whether the washcloths are underneath your armpit or not. Once we can master that way, it's the same whether you have it in or not, then we're going to step back away from the wall. Again, trying to prevent going too far in front of our body with our arms. We can go step towards the wall, practice, step away. Mimic the mechanics. And the final thing that I would get rid of is that strap. And then I'm just working in stationary position, forward and back, maybe using a mirror to double check, not as feedback, but just to make sure that side view, if I was holding a glow stick, it's going forward and back, looking like I'm sawing. And then what you'll notice is if you add that lean, still looking in the mirror, where your whole body is leaning forward, but your shoulders and your hips and your ankles are all still straight in a line, you're just biasing your body forward. Now, as you swing your arms, your wrist stays slightly below your elbows. Let's go over a quick summary. I've said it a million times, but you'll get it. The role of the arms is to assist the legs in forward and back movement when running. That's it. The wrists are in a neutral position. The hands are lightly holding a handsaw, moving forward and back, forward and back. Where that movement is occurring at is at the shoulder joint. The elbow is not articulating, moving up and down. The pathway is between, if it's the right arm, north and west at northwest. Or if I'm sawing that log in front of me, saw in both hands, the cut that we would see on that log is at a 45-degree angle, making the apex or the top of a triangle. Ideally, relax your shoulders, relax your arms. Arms should be dropped down and sinking forward and back with the legs, but get rid of any extra tension. If you're not sure if you're holding extra tension in your traps, mainly the muscles on top of your shoulders, shrug your shoulders up, bring your shoulders towards your ears, and then drop them. Relax. We're trying to ideally, while you're running, not use those at all. We don't need to shrug your shoulders up. This is where it comes in with breathing or anxiety or stress. We tend to put a lot of tension in your upper neck. So arms are relaxed, forward and back, forward and back. The arm swing is directly correlated with the legs. You can use a drill at home with a wall, a strap, and a washcloth, promoting gliding, the forward and back movement of the arms, and trying to inhibit or prevent bounding or twisting or any other direction. Here's a question for you, and hopefully you should be able to answer this. If you were to run pushing a baby stroller with a baby in it or a dog or whatever, do you think that you should hold on with both arms or one? Think about that. What did we say? If I'm holding on with both, the handles with both arms, what's not happening? My arms aren't swinging. What happens when my arms aren't swinging? I'm going to compensate. I'm going to rotate my pelvis and my shoulders and twist. So therefore, ideally, having one arm and allowing one arm holding and one arm still swinging, it's still going to help the best it can. Not as much, but assist the legs. I did this as a little mini study where I captured my heart rate and perceived level of exertion, where I was on a treadmill holding on with two hands versus one, just to kind of show it in action of what it feels like. And that's the way I would recommend for pushing a baby stroller. Now, here's the thing with safety, though. I would make sure that you have something, if you're just holding on with one hand, something around your wrist that's attached to that handle. That way, if God forbid you're sweaty, it slips away, you don't have a runaway baby on your hands. You can still have that connected to you. And ideally, when you're running, you're switching side to side as far as giving one arm a break for a while and then using the other. But baby safety above all. Last thing, kind of unrelated, but still related. What do you think about holding something? Do you think you should hold your phone, hold a water bottle? What's that going to do? That added weight to your hand, your legs are going to have to work harder. It can throw off if you have differences in weight on your right versus your left side of your arms. It can affect the pathway. And over a long period of time, thousands and thousands and thousands of steps, 20, 30, 40 minutes of running, that can add up. It can fatigue our shoulders. It can fatigue us faster. So ideally, anything that you're wearing, the closer towards your center of mass, near your belly button, the better. The closer that you can get the weight to you, whatever it is. I run with an inhaler and my phone at all times, and I wear a little strap around me because if I hold it, my arms are naturally going to be more tense because I'm gripping and holding on, and it's going to affect the weight and the pathway. Runners, are you looking to achieve a goal? Do you want a strategic plan to get there? If so, I've got you covered. Whether it's my Desk to 5K program, military running test, or marathon training, I'd be honored to help you out. I have options that also either include the mechanics or not. Visit l2r101.com for more. Clinicians, if you're interested in learning the Learn to Run system, having a systematic approach to capturing, classifying, and correcting your runner's mechanics, I've got courses online and in person. If you have ever found any value in this show, in this podcast, please share this with your friends. Rate, review. The more this gets out, the more people get the help that they need. Until next time, bye.